All right, everybody. So this is actually a really cool interview that I get to do with my friend who is the chief police of Plainfield Police Department, and his name is Jared McGee, and he is joining me. We're going to be doing a retreat just for first responders and what we might call public safety officers and individuals who are in need of an escape. And we're calling it the Great Midwestern Reset. And this is only open for people who are in the public safety thing, but we're going to talk a little bit about what it is, why it's needed so bad. And this is something that I've been fortunate enough to get to know you for a little while, Jared. And whenever we started to get to know each other, you said, hey, listen, why don't you come talk to a group of officers? But before you do, read this book. And it blew my mind. So just for those people who are listening and for those who are interested, what is going on with, of course, the police, people who are police officers, but also, public safety officers. What are they facing, and why is a retreat like this so needed?
Absolutely. So I think, first and foremost, thank you for having me, right? You and I have become really good friends, and I truly appreciate that. But public safety, I don't know. I think the overall thing is that there's just more out there in the world. So public safety has always been stressful. Police officer, firefighter, dispatcher, that's EMS. That's always been a stressful job, but more and more and more has been added to the plate of people in public safety. And that's where, when we look around and you've got a stray raccoon in your backyard, who do we call, right? It ends up being police or fire that shows up for this raccoon. And so that's the theme that happens. And as our world continues to change, more and more things are added to the plate of public safety personnel. And I think an advantage of us moving into this new age too is that people are becoming a little bit more self-aware. And so when I first started 20 something years ago, it was suck it up, buttercup, and go to the next call. And showing your emotions or talking through situations just wasn't a thing. You might have some sidebar conversations, but you definitely couldn't show emotion, and that was a sign of weakness. And so as we move forward, people are becoming self-aware, and they're starting to see, look, this is adversely affecting not only my work life, but my home life, and my health is the most important thing. And so we're all looking for avenues of help and different thing. There's a different tool for everybody. And so breathwork has truly become one of those tools that we have found that's very, very effective. And you can do it and nobody knows, which goes into the whole bravado of being in public safety. I don't have to cross my legs and put my hands out and meditate. Right. I can do it, and nobody really knows what I'm doing to get the relief I'm looking for.
Yeah, and when I first came to present, it was the first time really. I don't even know in the state of Indiana if there really had been anything like that presented to public safety officers, and of course the vast majority were in the police force in that area, especially I did 2 sessions that one day, and that's typically how I'll do it. I'll come in, I'll do a couple different sessions, and this is one of the things where like you said, there might be a raccoon that you need out of your yard, but who knows? It could also be anything. There's anything on the other end of that call, and that's something that I think the average person, to a degree, we sympathize with that. We feel like, wow, that must be, how must that feel? But as I was reading in the book that you gave me to read about this, it started to put things into perspective as far as, when that is your life, and when it is your life to be the person who is in charge whenever there's something awful that's happening, or just whenever, who knows what's happening. First of all, you need to go find out what is happening, and then be the person who's responsible for making sure that everything turns out okay. And if that is that on your plate at all times, it wears on a person. And one of the real sobering statistics that came up in that book was the incident of suicide amongst police officers. And when we talk about, okay, there's a lot of suicide in a particular profession, that's one thing, right? So for instance, if you were finding out, environmental science, scientists are committing suicide, that's one thing. But it's especially impactful when you consider that police officers have to go under a psychological evaluation, right, before they're accepted into the police force. So you already know that when they were first, at least when they started this profession, right, at that point, at least, we had a person of sound body and mind. And to have that high of a statistic in a population that 100% of them were checked out at the beginning, that is incredibly significant. And that's something that, we've talked about, you and I, we've talked about this before, like this, it shows that there's a problem. And one of the things that you've mentioned to me is how everyone knows that there's a problem. Everybody says, we got this problem. People are, we need to do something about it. Okay. All right. There's the end of our presentation, right?
Yeah.
And so bringing a solution, something as simple as breath work, something as profound as and powerful as breath work. And like you said, it doesn't have to be, what a lot of people might consider it being, like, for instance, being in a lotus position and being under a tree and having all these, incense and things like that. If you want to do it that way, that's fine. But it's breath work is something that you can do on the way to a call, right? And so some of the training that we've done and the workshops and clinics that we've done when we've worked together, we've done 4 of them now. Mm-hmm. And some of the techniques we've covered are literally, okay, you're in a terrible situation, right? You need to have your wits about you. Your autonomic nervous system is going crazy. How do you down throttle? And so we cover techniques to get there. And then, okay, you're headed to a place where you don't know what's going to happen, but you're full of anxiety. Well, you have to be able to function, and you're going to be breathing anyway. So we teach very practical tools to really help maintain that connection with your decision making, with your emotional state, with your physical state. But when it comes to our emotions, we do teach things as well. When it comes to, okay, we do need to have some time to process these things. So, with all that said, we're going to be doing this, the Great Midwestern Reset, to your fellow officers and to fellow people in public safety. What would you say they can expect when they're coming to this event, if they'd like to join up?
Sure. So, it's finding, like you said, solutions to current issues and finding actual techniques that we can use on an everyday basis. And I think you hit on it, right? We are living no matter where you're at in public safety. And that's why we opened it up to all of public safety. Whether you're a dispatcher answering the phone and an 8-year-old is telling you that they have a medical emergency, you're in a fire truck, an ambulance, or a police car driving through red lights and sirens and all of that, right? When we show up to those, we are operating in our lizard brain. And how do we get out of that, right? How do we down regulate so that we can have cool and calm and collect conversations and truly process that information that's coming in? And so, what we're going to do is go out into the woods and at a beautiful location that's secluded, so that we can be alone and really talk about these techniques and practice them and come together as a family, right? And where we can really, and that's why we wanted to keep it public safety, because we want to be able to really kind of decompress and talk through some of these things, and just really get these things down. So that way, like you talked about, reading books. I've read books over and over and over again that talks about combat breathing, and which is box breathing, right? But hey, let's do box breathing when you're shot and you're bleeding out and you think you're going to die. Maybe you should do box breathing. And I think that's great, but maybe we should be doing that long before we're shot, right? And I've heard it. I've heard some traumatic stories time and time again from police officers that said just that, right? I'm laying there thinking I'm going to die, and a light bulb went off, and I remember reading one time that I should box breathe, and it really helped me. So we want to really ingrain that, and that's where I have really talked to my officers that's the world I live in. So before I go into a stressful meeting, during stressful meetings, anytime, I'm practicing these things and trying to just stay static, where if I have to go up, I can go up. If I need to go down, I can go down. But as long as I stay in the middle, that's a great place to be. And it really helps me where when I get back home, I can truly leave the job at the job because I've not had that roller coaster ride throughout the day. And so it's really what I hope is that this can be one of many retreats and trainings to come. And I hope we can really attract some people that are looking for something and want to take it out to their agencies and start spreading the word, because it is truly something that's needed, especially in today's age.
Absolutely. So the dates that we're going to be doing this, the Great Midwestern Reset, we will be in Wisconsin. And of course, all the information you can find in the link below. If you want to sign up, all the sign up information is there. The dates, just so everyone understands when those are, it is May 20th to the 22nd. So it's going to be a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday deal. We're going to be starting in the evening on Friday. So if you need to, drive that day, it's not like we start that morning. So it'll be something we start the evening of Friday, the 20th of May. And then we will get done on Sunday, usually right around mid-afternoon. That way everybody can drive home and you can, be ready for work and do whatever you want to do the very next day. It's something that we don't do enough of just in general here, especially in the United States. We really don't take much time for ourselves. We call it a retreat because it is important to get out of the regular everyday routines, sometimes it's easier to really work on ourselves when we're away from the people we know and love. It's a strange thing.
Yes.
But it's okay. I'm going to get away from myself. I'm going to be around a bunch of other people who are maybe not best friends of mine. Maybe I know them. Maybe, we definitely recommend coming with a friend, or definitely don't feel like you have to come by yourself. But it's a great opportunity to meet other people and to work on yourself when you're separated and apart from all the chatter back home. So we're going to be doing a lot of different styles of breath work. There's three main styles of breath work for those of you guys who are just unfamiliar with it and kind of want to know a little bit what we're going to be doing. One is what we would consider a corrective breath work. So just as though, just like when we have corrective exercises for muscle imbalances and things of that nature, every single breath you take, it will affect the way you feel. So there are a lot of people that are breathing in a way that actually sends signals to their nervous system to be in that heightened state of hyper awareness, even whenever they're trying to relax and rest and be with their family and things like that. And they don't understand why. And it may not seem like there's an answer, but oftentimes it's related to the way we're breathing. And these habits, they kind of accumulate over the years. So we're going to learn how to reprogram. We're going to reassess. And I'm going to give everyone what we call a functional breathing assessment. And we're going to make sure everybody, by the time they're done, they know how to take a proper breath. And I know that might sound like, hey, I've been taking breaths this whole time, but it's important, right? It's important to learn how to take it the right way. And of course, you can say, oh, you're supposed to breathe slow and diaphragmatic and things like that. Well, we're going to make sure you know how it feels too. It's not just an intellectual exercise when you go on a retreat. Everything should be experiential. So we'll let you know what a proper breath feels like. And then we're going to be doing, in addition to that, we'll be doing some breathing exercises that are what we might consider the kind that enhance our abilities. So breathing exercises that can make you a stronger, faster, healthier person, things that we would oftentimes teach to athletes. But hey, if you're in public safety, I want you in the best shape of your life so that you can help protect, people like myself, and of course, obviously your brothers and sisters in public safety. So we're going to be covering breathing techniques to help you to focus better, help you to recover better, help you to sleep better, and literally give you an advantage, and what we might consider an athletic advantage. Of course, we want you to be able to outrun the bad guys and catch them. So we're going to do that as well. And then in addition to that, we're going to be doing another style of breath work we call integrative breath work. Now, this is the kind of breath work that we oftentimes don't realize we need it until we're done with it. And this is the kind that will allow us to really work through our emotional states and allow us to kind of process these things without having to relive trauma, PTSD, and things of that nature. So we're going to be doing the full gamut of breath work. We're going to be doing all the different styles that you can think of. In addition to that, we're going to be doing some hiking. We'll do a little ice bathing. We'll do a little bit of campfire. Who knows? I'll bring my guitar. We'll sing some songs. So we're going to have a lot of fun. And at the same time, we're going to learn a lot of tools. And again, this is just for public safety. So I think about, just how it's nice in general to be able to be a little bit vulnerable. And oftentimes, like you were saying before, that's seen as weakness to some people, but it really takes a lot of strength to become vulnerable. And I think it's going to be nice, especially whenever you're around other people that understand, what you're going through. So Jared, if you had just to give one last pitch for this event to your fellow workers in public safety, give it to us. Where is it?
Yeah. So, I think the investment that we make in our health many times goes to the wayside. And we look at training and vacations and all of these things and say, how am I going to spend my money the best, the most effective way that I can really enjoy myself? And anything that has to do with our health and our emotional well-being usually goes to the side. And we think, I'm going to go to the beach and I may have some beverages and I'm going to eat a whole bunch of unhealthy food and I'm going to be great. Right. And it takes us, we go do that, and it takes us 48 hours to get out of this mindset to even be present on the beach. And then 48 hours later, we're already back. And I can tell you that I've been on several retreats with you, and that is immediate. You can get into the moment that we start the breath work, you're already out of this zone, because it's dealing with so much, and it's science-based, right? So we don't want to talk about all the weird stuff. We're talking about science that we can deregulate right off the bat, and really start to decompress. And so I would strongly encourage anybody, and Jesse is a vendor for our police department. You've done work with the military. So if there's people out there that say, I want to go, but I want my department to pay for it, please contact Jesse. I'll give Jesse my info. Contact me. I can help you through that process. But, my wife and I at this point would much rather go spend a retreat doing this than going on a vacation somewhere else, because the value that comes out of it is so much greater. And it's something that goes with us for months to come afterwards, that we're still talking about it and we're learning a tool. So yeah, you may want to go to some SWAT school or the coolest firefighting school or whatever. And I get all of that. Jesse and we called our first breathing training tactical breathing, just to try to attract some folks there. But I've got a whole bunch of officers and firefighters and dispatchers that have been through this that just swear by it and understand the value of it. So and all of that aside, and I'll throw my pitch in there, if none of that is appeasing to you and you're an athlete in public safety, come. I'm a long distance runner, and this training has dramatically improved. I have PR'd everything I've ever done, been running for about 10 to 12 years, and I PR'd a half marathon. I'm getting ready to PR another one, 10Ks, 5Ks. So there it is, right? If you don't care about anything else and you want to be a fitter public safety employee, come, because what comes out of it is remarkable. And there's nothing greater, Jesse, than when I blow past somebody in a race and I'm breathing through my nose the whole time, and they're like, who is this freak and why is he breathing through his nose? So that's my pitch.
That's good. That is absolutely true. It is possible to breathe through your nose and be outrunning the competition. And we're going to teach you how to do that on this retreat. So there's a little bit of something for everyone in this retreat, and there's a lot of different ways and tools that you can take back with you. So we want to invite you again. This is the Great Midwestern Reset. The link is in the description box below. Again, if you're not in the public safety field, there's a ton of other events that you can take a look at on my website. So we do appreciate only public safety individuals to sign up for this. And I do want to highlight what Jared said. If you're worried about funding, this is something that that maybe he can help you try to help you get some work in with however it is that you guys get your funding. I'm not sure how any of that works, but that's something that's Jared's expertise. Again, this is May 20th, 21st, and 22nd. That's this year. It should be a beautiful time of year to be in this area of Wisconsin. It's the Driftless. And it'll just be us there. So we've got the whole compound. We've got couples rooms. We've got single occupancy. You do want to, the sooner that, if you're wanting especially single occupancy, or if you want to have first dibs, definitely sign up as soon as possible so that you can get first dibs on those things. But we're going to be, all your meals are included. The activities are completely there. And there's going to be plenty of time for you to just hang out and explore this beautiful natural environment. So again, that is the Great Midwestern Reset, and it is only for public safety individuals, and all the information is below. Jared, I want to thank you for being here and for all of the work that you're doing, bringing a positive tool, something to help this community that needs it so badly, and that we need so badly. So, and we meaning everybody, we all need you guys at your best, and we want you guys operating as best as possible. So we definitely, on behalf of myself, at least, I can say thank you guys so much, and come get some tools, everybody.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody again. If you have questions, comments that Jesse can't answer for you, he's got my contact information. Please let me know, and I'll do whatever I can to get you there.
Awesome. All right, guys, we'll see you there.